Alright, today we will be learning how to add integers again, but this is part 2. So yesterday you guys learned how to add integers that had like signs, so they both were either positive or both were either negative numbers. So you clearly knew that your answer was going to be a positive or a negative. In today's case, you're going to have opposites. That's two numbers where they are the same distance away from 0 on the number line. So it's going to be over here, like the example says, positive 5 and negative 5, or negative 120, positive 120. Some non-examples over here on this side would be negative 4 and positive 3. Those obviously are not the same distance away on the number line. Or negative 150 and positive 1,500. Okay. So now we have adding integers with different signs. We have something called the additive inverse that involves the opposite. So for example, if you have positive 6 plus negative 6 equals 0. So if you have $6, but you give that $6 away, you have $0. That's an additive inverse. And then likewise, if you owe somebody $25, but you pay them back $25, then you're at a balance of 0 and you owe them nothing. Okay, so when the numbers aren't inverses, so when they're not opposites, you're going to subtract the lesser absolute value from the greater absolute value and keep the sign of the number with the greatest absolute value. Now I know that that definition sounds weird. Make sure you write this down, and then we will go ahead and do some examples like that so that it makes better sense. But please make sure you get that written down. Okay, so here's our first example. We have 8 plus negative 10. Now these are our steps over here of what we need to do. So our first step, which number has the smaller absolute value? That's important because whichever one has the smallest absolute value, we're going to subtract from the other number. So let's find the absolute values of both of these numbers. The absolute value of 8 is just 8, and I'm going to write it over to the side. And the absolute value of negative 10 is 10. That means that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to subtract those two. Obviously big minus small. So 10 minus 8 gives me 2. And then which sign do you keep? Well, you keep the sign with the number with the greatest absolute value. So we're going to keep the negative sign and we're going to get negative 2. Okay, let's try the same two steps on problem number 2. So negative 13 plus 17. The absolute value of negative 13 is just 13, and the absolute value of 17 is 17. Now we're going to take big minus small, 17 minus 13, and we get 4. Now which one has the sign that we keep, the biggest absolute value? Well, that's going to be 17. The sign there, although it doesn't indicate it's positive. Okay, so we're going to have a positive 4 for an answer. You don't have to write the positive sign, but I just like to do it to make sure I check that the sign was right. Okay, you guys try number 3, and then we'll check it together. So you have 3 plus negative 12. First, we're going to find the absolute values. So 3, and then negative 12 would be 12. So we're going to do 12 minus 3, which is 9. And which sign do we keep? Well, 12 is larger, so we're going to keep that negative sign. And our answer is negative 9. Okay, we're going to go to a few other examples. You'll have a chance to do all of the examples, and then we'll check them together. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's try those. Number 1, 5 plus negative 10. Again, 5 is the absolute value, 10 is the absolute value. We're going to do 10 minus 5, which is 5. We're going to keep the sign of the bigger absolute value, so it's going to be a -5. Good work. Okay, next one. Absolute value is 3 and 7. 7 minus 3 is 4. And we're going to keep the positive sign. Good job. -12 plus 12. Those are your additive inverses, so you are going to automatically know that your answer is 0. Good job. Okay. -2 plus 11. Absolute value is 2. Absolute value is 11. 11 minus 2 is 9. And you keep the sign of the bigger one. It doesn't say it, but remember that's a positive sign. +9. Good work. And the last two. Absolute value is 9. Absolute value is 10. So 10 minus 9 is 1. And we're going to keep the negative sign. Good work. All right, last problem. 31 and 30. 31 minus 30 gives us 1. And we're going to keep that negative sign. Great work. Okay, let's go ahead and try a word problem for these types of problems. So the first thing I want to talk about are the definitions. You're going to have two different words here. You have deposit. Deposit's when you place money into an account. If your parents have checking accounts or you're familiar with saving accounts or anything like that, you deposit money into an account so that you can spend it later. A lot of times you have debit cards and stuff like that in order to purchase things, okay? So a deposit is when you are going to place your money into the account. Like if you got your paycheck or something, it gets placed into your account. The withdrawal, that's when you take money out. So like if you use a debit card and you purchase something, that's going to be withdrawed from your account. If you write a check for something, that's withdrawed from your account. And then sometimes now people have direct payments taken out of their account automatically. That too is considered a withdrawal. Okay? So the list shows 4 bank account transactions for your account during the month of August. Find the change C in your account balance. Now, they're just trying to confuse you here. Find the change C. C is just going to be your change. So C equals, and we could call withdrawal 1. So withdrawal 1. So C equals withdrawal 1 plus deposit 1 plus deposit 2 plus withdrawal 2. Okay, so that's what your C is going to be, is your total in the end. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's write down our withdrawals and our deposits. So again, C equals our withdrawal, our first one is we're taking out, so -$20. Plus our first deposit, we're adding 45. Plus our next deposit, adding $15 to our account. Plus we're going to withdraw, take out $30. Okay, great job. Okay, my suggestion is going to be to combine the ones that are similar. So for example, here you have a negative and a negative. I would add those together first. So -20 plus -30. That's going to be negative. Negative plus a negative, still negative. 20 plus 30 is 50. So C equals -50 plus, and then you have 45 and 15. Those are both positive numbers. So 45 plus 15 is going to give us 60. Now we only have one positive and one negative number to deal with. So let's go ahead and get this solved. C equals, now which one is going to win, the 50 or the 60? The 60 will win. So we're going to do 60 minus 50, which is 10. And then the positive number is the biggest, so positive $10. That is the change in your account. What I would like you to do is be able to create one problem similar to the last one. You'll be expected to know the answer and share it with a classmate tomorrow. So make sure that you do that before you come into school tomorrow. And we will see you tomorrow. Thank you.